Oh my gosh. Stranger Things season 4 volume 1 was incredible. It was literally like just everything and more. I don't even know where to start. Like, it was just really epic, dark, like darker than usual in a good way, and it was just, you can tell it's just really tying up the end of the story. I'm pleasantly surprised because I actually thought this was the last season. I didn't realize that season 5 is actually the last season, so that's really exciting that it's not over yet. I don't know where they're going to go from here though, because it's already coming to a really good sort of ending. I don't know how they can get much better than this, so I'm really excited to see where they go from here. We begin season 4 with it really focusing on Elle, and it's sort of like very nostalgic to the first season where we have Elle going back to how she has that short hair and everything as well, which at first I didn't really like her scenes. I sort of, not like didn't like them, but as in I preferred to see the kids, and I found that those scenes a little bit more exciting because we have like Elle quite separate to the kids in this season. Well, at the moment, I think they're all going to tie together and come together soon. We start with her and it shows all those kids that have died, and then you see her like as if it's claiming that she did it when we know that she didn't. We could, like, I saw it thinking she didn't do it, like who did it. So I knew that we were going to see who actually did that, and that was going to be revealed throughout the season. I also, when I watched it back, because I did watch episode 1 twice, I noticed that all the deaths were similar to Chrissy's death and Fred, and like just all the deaths that were going on with all the kids, or all the teenagers. Yeah, it was obvious that the nature of how their bodies were is the same as those kids. So I sort of thought maybe whatever was happening, like with Vecna and stuff, that happened to those kids, or kids in Elle as well. That's sort of what I thought. Little did I know how it ended up that, you know, she's trying to get her memories back, and that she suppressed a memory of who one was. And then we'll get to that later, because that was just pure genius how they tied one into it, and how, spoiler alert, how we know that he is Vecna. Like, that's just pretty intense and epic how they did that. So smart. Like, the writers are just really good, because it went from, you know, Elle's scenes being very like, what's happening here? You know, she's gonna get her powers back, to then being like full circle reveal. This storyline with like Vecna and everything, like Elle's just sort of out in her own world, actually tied in with everyone. It all revolved around what's going on with all the kids. You know, here's Elle like miles away from them, and you can see it's coming together. We see how the initial, like, that's how Elle opened the first gate and sent him through that gate into the Upside Down. Elle clearly has the powers. Like, she's probably more powerful, well, she is more powerful than one, and I think she's the only one who can actually destroy probably anyone in the Upside Down, like the Demogorgons, obviously, the Mind Flayer, and also I think that the Mind Flayer is not the king. I think the king is actually one. Speaking of 11, it was really sad to see 11 at school and how she's really struggling, and I hate those scenes where she was getting bullied. It really sad to see, and it was sad to see how she misses Hopper so much. You can tell she really longs for that father figure in her life, or that parental figure. You know, she's lost her mother, and then now she's had Hopper, who is like a real dad to her, and he's, you know, gone. So she thinks. I really hated to see how her relationship sort of deteriorated too. You can tell, like, that scene when she got the letter from Mike, I sort of picked it up that, you know, she's wanting him to say love Mike, not from Mike, and I picked that up straight away. And then in the end she actually did say that that's what's bothering her. I don't quite know what's going on with them too, like why they've gone distant. Obviously the distance, and I think Mike's going to sort of realise that he does actually still have feelings for her. But I think she's going to go on and realise and like go do what she's set out to do. She's got too much power. She's too much of a badass to let like a guy just get her down. But yeah, I think they'll work it out. We'll see more of that in season 4, volume 2, I believe. I did kind of like it though how she hit that girl, that Angela girl, because it was too far. You know, destroying the project, and then what she did to her at the skating rink. How cool was the skating rink? A very 80s miss going roller skating. That was just such a fun time. I did that in the 90s and it was just fun. We also see that Jonathan and Nancy have gone quite distant as well. I think it's, again, the distance. I don't know if they're going to work it out though. I think they have a mutual respect for each other, and they're both just sort of falling out of love, and I think we're going to see Nancy and Steve. It's looking like they're going to maybe rekindle something, because at the start it began with them two. I think that maybe it's going to end like that, where those two are going to get together, just like how Elle has the short hair again, and it's all like sort of going back to like the OG Stranger Things. I feel like in that way with some of the relationships it might go back to that as well, with like, Steve and Nancy, and Elle going back to like her original sort of powers and discovering a lot about her past. I love seeing Jonathan's new friend Argyle. He's hilarious. His hair is longer than mine. He's full hippie and into drugs and not like a marijuana. It's just really funny. Another new character is also Eddie. Eddie's cool. Really like Eddie. He fits in well with the crew. I really enjoy seeing the teens all hang out together, like the older ones. You've got your Eddie, Steve, Nancy, and Robin. I really like seeing them hang out together, and all we're missing now is Jonathan. I'm looking forward to them all coming back together, so that's something to look forward to in Volume 2. But yeah, I think Eddie's really cool, just being that leader of the Hellfire Club. I think he's found some good friends as well. I think he's sort of lost, but also really happy at the same time. And I think it'd be cool to see him be a big part of the crew. And I just feel really sorry for him that he's been framed for, the murders that he hasn't even done. I think the town's going to start seeing a murder maybe right in front of them, and Eddie won't be there. I don't know. But yeah, I think he's going to get through it, and they're going to discover that it's not him. On another tangent, we see Joyce and Hopper, right, going to Alaska. Her receiving that doll was really creepy, and Murray is the best. He's so funny. Just that moment when he's like telling her to open the doll, and the doll's like, she's like hanging something off the tree, basically not going near it. Don't just smash it because it could be a bomb or something. And he's just like on the phone when he's like, Joyce, when he couldn't hear her anymore, thinking that something happened to her. He's really good. He's really intense in a good way. And I find him funny how he pretends to be Yuri as well in Alaska, when he's like all smiley and got that goofy face. He just does it really well. He's a brilliant actor. I was just smiling the entire time. Whenever he's on the screen, I just laugh. He's really good. But yeah, being Yuri was funny because he just looked very, not saying Russian, but very European in the way he was acting. He did a really good job. I love those scenes. That's another whole storyline that was really intense this season. The fact that, Hopper really almost died. Legit could have died. They literally put them there to feed to the Demogorgons. Pretty brutal. But yeah, I'm glad that Hopper got out, and just the emotion when he saw Joyce again was really beautiful. I really hope those two get together and can just end up living together and being happily ever after in the next volume or the next season. I really hope so, because they're a beautiful couple and I think they deserve each other. And Joyce is really badass to come across the country to go find him and save him. You can see it in his face. He's just like, damn, she did that all for me. You can just tell. The chemistry between them is really beautiful. Max. Let's talk about that episode. Max, oh my gosh, Sadie Sink. She's incredible. She's an incredible actress. I always thought she was really good, but this really showcased her, and I'm glad she got to have that chance to do that. She did a brilliant job. It's probably one of my favourite episodes, at least one of my favourite scenes. Everyone's listening to Running Up That Hill now. I didn't even know that the Placebo one was a cover, so this Kate Bush version is so much better. I'm obsessed. I love it. It was just really emotive and really suiting to her and what she's going through. That scene just symbolises so much. I think just if you're going through depression, Vecna really symbolised the demons and her friends reaching out, trying everything to help her. If she just didn't focus on them and didn't reach back out to them, she'd be dead. She was just fighting through, and then seeing that vision of her lifting up was already gave me goosebumps, because she's literally about to die and she can see it, and her running for her life to her friends, and then that moment when she's falls down and is just back in reality, and Lucas grabs her and they're just like, I got you, she's like, I'm still here. That was amazing. Yeah, I feel emotional just thinking about it. It was really powerful. I sat there in shock of how beautiful that scene was. I feel like Lucas and Max will be okay. I think they'll get together as well. I can't see them not working out. And again with them, I think theirs is not so much distance, it's just more so her being depressed over what happened with her brother Billy. And yeah, that sucked how Billy died. I really don't want to see many more characters die like Billy, but I think in the second part, I think we're going to see someone die. I don't know who, but I think it's going to happen. If they let Billy die, I think it could potentially happen. Let's just hope it's not Steve. But yeah, she's awesome. I really like Max, and I hope her and Lucas work out. I just hope all the couples just work out, except Jonathan and Nancy. I mean, I like them, but I just think I prefer Steve. At the start, I did find it a bit sad how Lucas is sort of distant from his friends too. He's sort of just not going to the Hellfire Club and just doing his thing with basketball, but is kind of not fully who he is. Like, he's trying to be something he's not, trying to be cool. He's cool anyway. I just like how in the end they're sort of all together and hanging out a lot, the friends, and I just really want to see them all get back together. You know, have Elle come back, have Mike and Will come back to the other crew like Dustin and Lucas, Max. Also, I really like seeing Nancy and Robin. Their relationship was really cool to see. Robin's just really smart, figures everything out, figures the music thing out. They also discover the upside down, like the gate in the water, and then when Steve gets pulled there and Nancy, you can tell she's like really worried about him. I liked how they all went in there together. I also thought it was a bit of a nod to the first season, working through the lights again, like being on the upside down and communicating through the electricity. That was really cool to see. Also, that moment at the end in episode 7 when Nancy... So I knew something was going to happen, but I thought Steve was going to get left behind or Vecna was going to be there. Did not see that coming when Nancy fell through and went into Vecna's world, or Vecna went in her mind, I guess. So that was scary because she's just there in the upside down with just Steve. How are they going to get music to her and save her in that way? I'm not sure. Someone's going to have to probably come to the upside down to help out. Also, how she was going back seeing like Victor's family, how we see one is part of it. Like, that's, again, incredible. Like, such good writing. I could tell that something was wrong with that little boy who was one from the start. I could tell that something was off there. Like, or I thought he maybe just noticed something about the house. I didn't know that he was evil. I don't know why Nancy's getting shown everything. That's what's confusing me. Like, he's planning to obviously kill her so she doesn't tell that to everyone else. But I think he's trying to tease her, like, because she's really smart and going to Victor and everything. I think he's trying to toy with her, then kill her. Hopefully she obviously doesn't die and can relay this back to everyone. But I just don't get why he's trying to tell her everything. Really epic. I think that's pretty much it. A lot happened. A lot of different storylines all tying together. My baby's crying in the background. But yeah, I really like how it's coming all together and all the different characters are working together in different ways, and I'm liking where it's going, and I'm really pumped for the next part. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be sad. I think it's going to be epic. Let's just hope that our favourite characters don't die, and yeah, that Elle can defeat one. Let me know what you guys thought. I hope you enjoyed this season so far, and I'll be back for the next volume, and I just cannot wait. Only under a month, a month to go. I'm so pumped. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought. I've got to go to my baby. He's crying, so thanks guys.